All right, happy Thursday. Oh my God, look at all these black people in the room. Wow, it's so beautiful. It's almost like it's Black History Month, Terrence.
Around the corner. It is slowly approaching.
And then JB, say hey, JB. Good morning, everybody.
Yes.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us on Rooted in Progress. Your hosts here, Deanne King and Terrence. How you feeling today?
Hey, I'm feeling great, man. Happy Thursday.
Yeah.
Where are we? January 16th? We're
Yes.
halfway through the month of January already?
Yeah, 2025
man,
coming at us fast, right?
It's going by fast. Yes, it's going by too fast. So,
Hey, thanks for joining us for Rooted in Progress. We are so thrilled to have y'all here. One, we're talking about something that you could never get enough of,
Yes.
and that is the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. You know what my pastor used to say, Terrence? He'd be
that?
like, Dr. Martin Luther the King.
The King.
The King. He's my uncle, by the way. He's not my uncle. Wouldn't that be great?
Deanne
Wouldn't that be
King,
amazing?
is that your stage name? What's your real name?
That is my name.
That's not your stage name?
And that is, like, he's my uncle in my head.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
claim-
just what it's going to be.
You could say that today, just for today. Don't let it go outside this room.
Hey, man, we have a good one.
Uncle Dr. Reverend
Uncle
V.
Dr.
Martin Luther
Reverend
King Jr.
King.
There you go.
Love it.
Yeah, it seems like he's everybody's uncle.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's a staple, right?
Absolutely.
And he's one of those, he's a person in our history, even though he's not with us anymore, his presence still fills the country, the nation, the world. We all still rally around MLK Jr. Day in general, and then just his efforts, always
Right.
going back to the dream, always going back to progress, being rooted in that progress. Nice little plug. And making sure that we don't let him down. I feel like no matter when you were born, learning about what he did for the culture, for our race, for the world, for this country, there's no way you can't acknowledge the work of Dr. King.
And he's more than just a street name.
Correct.
Yeah.
You're right.
He's more than just a street name. And it's very important that this generation, our kids, our grandkids going forward know who he is other than a street name, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a very important weekend coming up.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, y'all. It is Monday. It's going to be on January 20th. And speaking of Monday, we have the 45th annual Toba MLK Leadership Breakfast happening on Monday. And so today we are going to talk about the incredible things that local organizations are doing in our community, not only to honor Dr. King himself, but to continue his legacy and to continue the work that Dr. King was doing in our communities and across our country and across the world. So we have Miss Carrie Knowles from Toba. How you doing today?
Hi, Deanne. I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm so happy to have you here. The MLK breakfast, I think I've gone the past 5 or 6 years straight.
Yes.
Yeah, like 5 or 6 years straight. What about you, Terrence?
This
How's
is
your attendance
year
going?
4 for me.
Okay.
I think this is year 4. Yeah,
Year
I
4?
moved down here in 2019. I don't think we had it. Well, we did have it in 2020. That was kind of before
We
COVID.
did. We had
That was my
COVID.
first one. So, yeah, year 4 for me. So
We had the COVID breakfast. That was at the time. You remember that? Like, it was at the time where it was like,
Yeah.
do you wear a
everybody-
mask?
Everyone was spaced out at their own table. We did our
What's
best to carry the torch.
What's this mask thing here? Yeah, we all had individual tables. You're right. That is how it was. So let's talk about this year. It's the 45th annual. I was actually able to do an interview with Bob Morrison, one of the founders of Toba, the Tampa Organization of Black Affairs,
Yes.
for those who may not know. So talk about some of the history that surrounds Toba and how they got started about 45 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tampa Organization of Black Affairs, or TOBA, started in 1979, and in the early 80s, they were motivated to honor Dr. King's legacy by hosting the breakfast before MLK Day was a thing in this nation. So Toba was definitely ahead of the charge on honoring his legacy. And because there wasn't a federal holiday established yet, they had the breakfast set at 6:45 a.m. so that folks could come out, sharing fellowship and remembering Dr. King, speaking about themes that relate to what Dr. King was about, and be able to get to work on time. So they have kept that tradition at 6:45 to remember that, what was done back in the day. And that's why to this day we have it at such an early time, 6:45.
That's one of the first questions I always get. Why is it at
So
6:45 in the
Yes.
morning? And I'd be
Why
like,
so early?
y'all will wake up for something else.
Yes.
Why not wake up for the leadership breakfast? And talking to Mr. Morrison, one of the founders of Toba, he also mentioned how they also wanted to pay homage to our ancestors and how they during the bus boycotting, they had to get up that early in order to get things done and be able to actually advocate and boycott. And so to be able to kind of base that 6:45 a.m. time frame around so many things, it's okay. It's one day out the year.
It's not going to kill you.
Yeah, it's a small
not.
sacrifice.
And most people are off that day. So
Now,
now
nowadays.
they are, yeah. So after that, you head to the parade, then you go home,
do
take
all
a
the
nap.
things.
So Carrie, my question is, you kept saying they. Carrie has a very interesting connection with Toba. Can you tell us a little about your history as well as your parents and their affiliation with Toba?
Yeah, absolutely. So my parents were a part of the founding members of Toba.
Oh.
And ironically, my mom hosted the first MLK breakfast.
No way.
So when you talk about the 6:45,
Yes.
you're 1 degree of separation of asking why 6:45.
Yeah, literally.
Why not 8 a.m., moms?
Yes.
That's incredible. What conversations have you had with your mom as it relates to like the growth and the matriculation of Toba?
Yeah, so growing up, I was always at the breakfast early in the morning because that was just the tradition.
Yeah.
And she helped to mentor me when I had an opportunity to co-host back in 2016. But I've had both my parents and other founding members of Toba kind of like mentor and pour into me and just remind me of what this work is about.
Yeah.
Trying to uplift the Black community and be strategic on how we implement civic engagement and just overall initiatives that benefit the Black community at large.
Yeah. Your mom was one of the original 150.
Yes.
Bob told me there was about 150 people at the first breakfast. And now we're talking about 1,200 plus people that attend this breakfast on a Monday morning at 6:45. So what does it mean to even see that kind of growth and see that kind of support behind not only Toba, but the work that you all are doing in the community?
Yeah, I think it speaks a lot to those community ties that Toba has grown over the years, whether it be corporate all the way down to the regular citizen in Tampa Bay. The community has just kind of seen the program evolve each year with the speakers, the themes. And it's also very inspiring and uplifting to see how a lot of the elected officials also support the initiative of the MLK breakfast and that they attend year after year and how much they respect MLK as well as Toba and what we're trying to do for the community, but especially the Black community here in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that day has some heavy hitters every year. So we love to see that from local leaders, state leaders. But again, that just shows you how pivotal the work that Toba is doing in the community is. So let's talk about that work, because outside of the MLK breakfast, what a lot of people may or may not know, Toba does a lot of work in the community. You also have the Leadership Institute, where you all are growing and mentoring leaders in our community. And that's like the backbone, that's like the heart of Toba. So talk about some of the things that you all do outside of the breakfast.
Yeah. Well, I will say there is a tie-in with the Leadership Institute and the breakfast. Since 2020, we've always picked or selected 2 individuals from the Leadership Institute to co-host the breakfast. So there's a tie-in there. But yes, the Toba Leadership Institute, or TLI, was established at the beginning of 2020, which was a very kind of before all the events that happened in 2020. But there was definitely that desire from young Black professionals that wanted to come together, be strategic, and help implement ideas that help uplift the community. And here we are 5 years later with over 100 graduates.
Wow.
And a network of individuals that continue to do the work. They continue to pour back into incoming cohorts and mentor. And we actually are taking applications now for the 2025 cohort.
Come on.
That closes January 26th. If you'd like to learn more, you can visit Toba's website at tobanetwork.org. And we look forward to coming up with some new ideas for community enhancement proposals, and also pouring into the next generation of leaders that want to continue to do good within Tampa Bay and beyond.
Wow, that's amazing. Go ahead, Terrence.
I was just going to say, I'm going back to the breakfast. For those that are attending, what can we expect? We got a powerful keynote speaker this year. Can you tell us a little bit about that person and who it is?
Yeah. So the pastor will be at the breakfast this year. And he is a very busy man. So unfortunately, we always have a reception the night before the breakfast. But because he'll be delivering sermons on Sunday, he'll be there Monday morning. But we're really looking forward to the message that he'll be bringing. And I know he'll leave the crowd feeling inspired and ready to do good work on MLK Day and beyond as well.
Yeah,
good.
They always have a dynamic speaker. You remember last year?
Yes.
The lady?
Yes.
I don't even remember her name.
Well, and the guy the year before, I think he was the pastor out of Birmingham, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he was great too.
Absolutely. So,
but the woman from last year,
she was dynamic.
Yeah.
what?
She was great.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
She
stood on business.
We were sitting at the table, and like there was a moment I was like, girl, get out. I was like, get out.
Yeah.
We can't. We weren't ready.
We were fired up and ready to go
She
after.
called people out.
yeah.
It was very powerful. So I'm excited for this year. Are there tickets left?
So unfortunately, we are at capacity. So the event is sold out. But there's always next year. And my advice is to, as early as you can, get your tickets. They open up, I believe, in December. So the earlier, the better. But at this moment, we are at capacity. So there are no more tickets available.
Okay. I mean, either way, whether because I know we always cover it too. So there's always a recap.
Yeah.
And you all can definitely catch that on WFLA and on our newscast. But I think it's one of those things where, like, if you've lived here, if you've been here and you haven't been to the Toba breakfast, it's one of those things where you got to put it on the list. Yeah. I know it's early, but like you got to put it on the list to do, because you leave truly feeling inspired, and it's at the beginning of the year, right? And so it kind of gives you that push. Like everybody thinking about, I'm trying to get in the gym. Like, oh, no. Like, what you trying to do in the community?
Yeah.
And I think the breakfast actually kind of challenges you to maybe shift and think about other things aside from like what you personally want to change about yourself. So I love that about the breakfast.
There's plenty of coffee pouring around. So
Yeah.
6:45 is early, but it keeps you, like she mentioned, inspired, uplifted throughout the entire. I think it's from 6:45. I think it goes to 9 o'clock.
To about 9.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll
So
have
that's
food
not
and
long. Like
drinks.
once you get in there and you start, meeting folks and seeing folks and hearing this powerful message from the keynote speaker, it goes by really fast. So, Carrie, tell us a little bit about how folks can join or be a part of Toba.
Yeah. So like I mentioned, if you would like to learn more about our Leadership Institute, that is available on Toba's website at tobanetwork.org under the Leadership Institute. And if you'd like to just get involved with some of the other initiatives and programs that Toba has, whether it's voter education or economic development, there's individual Toba memberships available also through the Toba website at tobanetwork.org. So we have all of our information on that platform, and we look forward to, building our membership this year and engaging and doing more good work for the community.
Yeah. Toba's a good one. Toba's a great organization if you're looking to get involved in our community. Carrie, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, y'all know,
Thank you for having me.
I mean, Toba's not the only organization doing incredible things in our community. We have several local organizations who are truly indebted and do things even outside of MLK Junior Day. But the next organization we're talking about, I love what they do because it's a way, when I share the story about the Tampa Soul Roll and the Soul Roll Invitational, I love that not only is it something fun, and I also love that it's something that I think if you're not in the skating community, you kind of forget that there's a skating rink that you could go to and take the kids to. So it's like a yearly reminder for me, like, oh, I need to take my nieces and nephews to the skating rink and let them have a good time. But really, if you all have not heard about the Soul Roll Invitational, it is something that has been a part of our community for nearly 20 years, 17, 18 years at this point. And it's a way where they're able to merge culture, they're able to merge Black history, but also merge fun and have a really good time with folks. And so the Soul Roll Invitational is actually happening right now. They started last night. So what I really want to do is I want to ask our guest, Mr. Al Wyatt, who's a part of the Soul Roll, how are you here this morning? Because I know y'all was probably turned a little bit last night. Am I right? Let's welcome Al Wyatt. We also have Salita Coleman, the founder of the Soul Roll Invitational, joining us virtually. Salita, how you doing?
Good to be back in Tampa for another year with our guests this weekend, so we're pretty excited.
Yeah, so let's talk about its inception. What made you even want to create the Soul Roll Invitational?
So back around 9/11, I was new to the Tampa Bay area. And I had come from DC down to Tampa to live. I was actually working for the Tampa Tribune at the time. And friends were telling me after 9/11, you need to find an outlet to just kind of decompress. The world was in a weird place. And a friend of mine in California said, find your local skating rink, right? So I did that, met a lot of folks in the community that were skating, but I hadn't skated since I was like 16. I mean, adults skating, it just didn't make sense to me that was a thing. Adults did. But in many cities of the country, roller skating never went away. The culture has remained strong since the 60s, really. And in some markets like Atlanta, Detroit, and Chicago, they have 13 rinks. They have skating at 7 to 10 a.m. for folks over 50. There's a huge skating culture. So I went to the Tampa rink, bought a pair of skates, and that same friend in California said, meet me in Chicago, and we're going to go to an adult skate party.
Wow.
And I had no idea what that meant, didn't know what it looked like, but I said, you know what? Why not? So got to Chicago, and from midnight to 5 a.m., I walked into a rink and saw 2,000 adults that looked like me.
Wow.
That were professionals, teachers, doctors, any profession. The networking was amazing. We were from all over the country, and we filled this rink with music and movement from midnight to 5 in the morning. I was hooked.
Wow.
So when I got back to Tampa, I was like, hey, we have to invite people here. Like, we got it going on in Tampa too. And through my travel skating, I started to share that over MLK weekend, it was a great opportunity to come to Tampa and see what our skate community was about. Yeah. So it just kind of ballooned from there. But for many years before I was introduced to the Sunday night soul roll that exists in Tampa, they skated MLK weekend and the rink gave them an extra hour to skate. But it was just the Sunday night that still exists every week and has for nearly 30 years, 25, 30 years, right, Al? Yeah.
Wow.
So we started with a Friday to Sunday. We added the multiple nights. People started coming from Canada, the UK, and all over the country. And it's just become a part of, our local culture. People have come to the Soul Roll Invitational and retired in Tampa over the last 15, 20 years because they fell in love with the Bay Area.
Wow.
So we've sold homes as a result of people coming to Soul Roll. We fill hotel rooms, for the city. We are a destination event. And that's one of the big things we like to talk about because we don't just rent the rink and open the doors. A lot of the people you see on camera live outside the state of Florida.
That is interesting. But we also have Al, who's been skating. I feel like you are the soul roll at this point. Talk about how you got into skating and why it's played such a pivotal role in your life.
Well, I mean, I think I started skating at about 6 years old.
Okay.
So lived in Central Park. So we had Boys and Girls Club and the outdoor little rink. So, skating on the concrete and learning to skate on the concrete, you learn pretty fast. So the rocks ain't too good on your knees. So I just been, skating's just been a part of my life. I've done roller skating. I've done artistic skating. I've done speed skating. I've did hockey.
So what got you into skating?
My dad.
So not like skateboarding as a young
No,
kid.
no.
We're about the same age. So that was really us.
Well,
Our generation is more skateboarding, I guess, but
no, my dad was a roller skater, so
Oh,
he
man,
used to
that's
have the light up wheels, and he used to talk. I got them. Like, okay, so he got me into it, and I got the bug, and just been skating ever since. I got my kids into skating, so I mean, most of my family skates. So my sisters and brothers, they actually come down this weekend and they hang out and they skate. My family from up north, so it's just, I don't know, skating has been a part of life for me. So that's just what kept me out of the streets and all of the drugs, and it was just too much going on in the Tampa Bay area. So at the end of the day, I think skating saved me from getting a record. So I don't have a record, so that's great. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur, so it just gave me a different outlook on life. So
I was gonna mention that. So in case for the culture plug, by the way, airs weekly on the morning show WFLA in the morning. But I was able to interview you, and one of the things that stood out to me was exactly what you just said, was that roller skating literally saved your life. And I don't think it's probably the first thing people think of when they're like, what saved your life? Roller skating? Like, what? What do you mean? So expound on that and explain how, and that kind of role that it played in your life and how it saved it.
Well, I mean, growing up in Central Park was rough back in the 90s. If you're from the Tampa Bay area, it was a lot going on. So, I mean,
was it more so like gangs, drugs? What were we talking?
You always had the drugs always been around Central Park. My parents was on, excuse me, my parents was on drugs early on in the 80s. And, they just gave us a different outlook when it came to life. And, they got themselves clean, and it was just like, they got me involved in skating. So it was just like, it was so much for me to be able to enjoy skating and go and get away from, all the stuff that was going on in the world.
Yeah.
And as far as, the Tampa Bay area, I love Tampa. This is home, born and raised, grew up in Tanoda Sasa in the country. So I'm a country boy at heart. So, I still got my boots. So it's just, it's just with skating, it's a place that you can go and get away and get lost in the music and forget about, the hard day, the hard week that you had. It's just like a reset. And that's what it was for me. Is Sunday night, it didn't matter where I was working or what I had going on. I'm at the rink until maybe 1:30 in the morning, but I got to be to work at 7. Wow. I even had to go to Naples and work, and I left the rink at 12:30, drove all the way to Naples.
Wow.
And still went to work Monday morning,
So my question, Al, excuse me, Deanne, but do you find that this generation that's coming up today have an interest in it? And if so, what are you doing to give back to that generation?
Well, I'm always trying to involve people in skating, and I think this generation now, they're getting the bug because of a lot of social media and YouTube and stuff like that. So, with Usher and stuff like that, skating, and he's making a big move in skating, but we've been doing it. So it's just like, okay, you're just catching on to it, but it's like, we've been doing it for years. So the younger generation are catching on, and they're watching a lot more videos and YouTube, and they're learning a lot of moves and skates. And I mean, it's definitely different now, because when I was coming up, we didn't have social media.
Right.
We had, DVDs, or we had Get Your Skate On, or we had websites where we had to go and look at videos and clips. So now it's like, okay, I can go to YouTube and watch a skate party that happened in Detroit or a skate party in Chicago and learn moves, so you can practice more and sharpen your skills. So nowadays, these young cats they grinding, they hard on it. I'm like, I tell them, I retired.
That's amazing, man.
No, I've seen the videos, and like low key watching the videos, I'd be like, let me go skate, and I'm like, Maybe not. Because they're so talented. Have y'all seen videos of Shaq trying to learn how to skate?
He got some boats.
Listen.
Or
First
ships.
of all, the
That's a-
shoes are like, why is your foot
That's a
that big?
sedan. That's
Bruh.
a
I'm
That's
like,
suburban. That's
he's
a
riding
suburban.
compact cars.
Shaq was literally, he was holding on to the people who was trying to teach him how to skate.
I
and it
know
was
some of them
hilarious.
guys from Atlanta that was with him. Yeah, I know some of the people.
Well, it's an art, man. I'm
Yeah.
telling you now. My son was ice skate. Excuse me, he was a hockey player. My daughter did figure skating.
Yeah.
So I would get out there on that ice, and then I gravitated towards inline skating. I'm not great at it. My goal is not to fall.
That's it.
And when I get on four wheels,
That's it. Just
you know,
don't fall.
Regular roller skates, my goal is not
all
to
this
fall.
stuff they doing in this video
None of
that
that.
we're
I
watching
can't
right
do
now,
none of
baby, we're
that,
not
bro.
turning around and
No.
skating backwards. That's too much.
We'll give
I'm
you a
that
little
dude
slack.
I'm that dude that will go past the video camera and run dead into the wall. So
Once you pass the camera, then
once
you
I
got-
pass,
yeah,
the
once you pass the camera,
yes,
yeah.
yes. So
I wanna.
You know,
oh, go
even
ahead,
for me,
Selena.
it was a nightclub on wheels. You know,
Yeah.
I wasn't a drinker, I wasn't a smoker. So when I walked into an adult skate party for the first time, I love music. And then we had the movement. I'm like, this is a nightclub on wheels, and I gotta have it. And
Yeah.
it's been a love affair ever since.
Yeah. And Al, when you talk about like we've been doing this, it's been a part of the culture. I mean, you go back to segregation and when we saw kind of like the birth of roller skating. And I remember even talking about this, Salita, when I interviewed you last year or 2 years ago, just the history of roller skating in the Black community in general, and how it started with Black folks only had one night that they could even go to a skating rink to skate.
yeah.
And it was called like Black Night. And it would eventually change into something else. And so, Salita, when you think and you hear about and know the history of roller skating and what it means to African American culture as a whole, what does that do to you?
Well, first, I would say to our audience, if you have not seen our documentary, United Skates, it's on HBO.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were Oscar and Emmy nominated for the United Skates documentary.
Wow.
It really highlights that historic element of roller skating in the United States. If it wasn't Black Night, it was MLK Night, Soul Night, anything to label it for them and not for us. But what I've spent the last 20 years tackling is the access to skate in different spaces, because a lot of communities in the country don't have a rink. Here in Washington, D.C., we turned a military armory into a rink, and I had 5,000 people come from all over the country and skate here.
Wow.
One of our music venues, the Anthem, kind of like the arena, Lucas Oil downtown Tampa. I've hosted a concert, like we had Tony come, and we skated on what was the concert floor, and people watched from the seats above the arena floor.
Wow.
That thing was nice.
Access to space for roller skating is a whole movement for me, because where we don't have rinks, we need access to express this art form. If people can ice skate, if there can be skating in the Olympics, communities need the opportunity to give people space to roller skate like they did in church basements or other community centers back in the 40s.
Well, listen,
You know,
if they can break dancing in the Olympics, I will sign that
knew you were
petition.
about to
I will
say
sign that petition to get it into the Olympics. Get roller
Look
skating
at the
into the Olympics.
B-roll.
Yeah.
It should be a competitive or
Right.
Olympic featured art form. And because of who's participating, we have not been able to crack that ceiling. But the numbers, just from what the viewers can see on this screen, that's a great size party. That's a great night. But in some cities, that's multiplied times 1,000.
Oh, yeah. Especially Atlanta.
Wow. Yeah.
Atlanta, perfect example.
Yeah.
13 rinks in that market. I think 14 now.
Well, and
Wow.
if you want to talk about, let's talk about health and wellness here.
Uh-oh.
Okay. It is a true cardio workout.
Heck yeah.
Full
I
body,
mean,
full body.
full body
2 laps.
workout.
I'm tired.
And it's not even that. It's 2 laps and my ankle hurting or my knee
My
is
back.
hurting.
Remember I told you
or
about my back?
That's
yeah.
them rollerblades. That's what them is.
Well, yeah, you're right. You
That's
are
the
you're
rollerblades.
right on that. But still, it's a full body workout, and you know these folks are going around for hours and hours. And I remember going as a young kid. We used to go to the skating rink, and you come out drenched, soaking wet. So you know, it's a great workout for those that don't want to get out there into the gym or run, you know, around your neighborhood. Grab a pair of roller skates and go have fun.
Go in the AC,
yeah.
child.
Even with the gym, right? Everyone at the gym working out, do you ever see them smiling? Are they really enjoying themselves? They're mad, like they're throwing the weights. But when you're at the skating ring, you're really enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
You're enjoying the energy. And what's crazy, the energy at a skate party is just electrifying. It's just, I mean, it can light up Tampa Bay. I mean,
Y'all
if you come
started
out this
last
weekend,
night. Yeah, so tell us what's going on. I know you all have it's 4 days, right, for the Soul Roll Invitational?
it's actually 5.
It's 5 days. Okay,
5.
so you all started last night. So what do we have going on today, tomorrow, and the next few days?
Well, today we're meeting at Top Golf a little bit later this afternoon. I think around about 5 o'clock. So we're gonna hang out there for a little while, and then after that, we're gonna go into skating. We got DJ Big Rob from Detroit, and then we got my boy DJ Kevin, who's a local. So we're gonna be there from 8:30 to 12 at the rink at Ashgrove Brandon. So if you want to come out and, you know, see what it's about, definitely come out, and this will be the opportune time for you, because once Saturday night hits and Friday night, it's gonna be bananas. So
What's Friday and Saturday?
Friday and Saturday, we got the meet and greet at Mama's Soulful restaurant.
Okay, the one on MLK or the one in Brandon?
The one in Brandon.
Okay.
So it's right by the rink. So that's going to be a great opportunity. Black-owned business. Okay, let's go. So,
That's a huge part of our mission. Like, don't let
Listen,
that fall. Like,
so-
we bring people here to support, you know, those businesses.
Yeah.
and they're definitely opening the doors for us so we can have a meet and greet. So for people to come in, have a good time, fellowship, have some food, have some music, have a couple vendors. And then that night we're skating at 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. So if you
Child.
better take a nap. I'm telling you. I plan on taking a nap before I go skating, but it's like
Y'all doing that Sunday too? Because how they gonna do that and come to the
Well,
breakfast at 6:45 in the morning?
Sunday is from 9 to 1. So
Okay,
that's gonna
praise
be
the Lord.
that's
So
gonna
y'all
be
can go
totally
to- y'all
different.
can
I
go
would
to the
say they were
Soul
just
Roll
going
on
to
Sunday.
skate on over to
Skate
the
on over to the
JW.
JW.
Yeah.
Listen,
Skate on over to the
I was
JW.
thinking, I was like, if they got a ticket, I'm like, I could just go home, take a shower, and just pop on up
I know that's
6:45.
right.
I mean, you know, that's no big deal. So, you know, I mean, it's just so much going on. We just
Right.
have an impactful weekend, and then we even doing a cookout. So, are you coming to the cookout?
So you know that's what's so crazy to me is
Uh-oh.
She's coming up. She's coming up with an
She
excuse.
thinking, coming up with an
okay, no,
excuse.
seriously,
Yeah.
because the cookout is Saturday.
Yes.
I have to get my hair done.
Yeah. Hold on now. Wait a second.
We were just talking about
that's
this before the
best excuse
podcast.
you could come up with.
No, it's really not an excuse.
You said your niece was taking out your hair.
Correct. All day Friday, and then I have to get my hair done on Saturday.
Messy bun.
You come to the cookout,
You
can
gonna
find
sweat it out
somebody.
anyway.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God,
the
that's
cookout is
crazy.
from 12 to 5. So it's in the afternoon time. It's inside. So you could throw on a ball cap. I mean,
Wow. So y'all
Come
just want
on.
me showing up looking any kind of way.
okay, we're not. Look. Okay, see?
Wow. A
Family
ball
affair.
cap.
A ball cap. I mean, listen.
No,
You're not there to impress nobody. You're there to have a good time and
I'm not there to
socialize.
impress anybody, but I need to
You
impress
looking for a
myself.
husband or something, or you married?
Al, give us the dates and times and locations again on that, man, on that schedule.
The dates and times. So tonight is going to be Ashgrove Brandon from 8:30 to 12. Tomorrow is going to be from 12 to 4 a.m. Ashgrove Brandon again. Then also Saturday night, we're going to be there from 12 to 5 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
So we burning the midnight oil. And then Sunday, we're taking it home to United Skates on Armenia from 9 to 1. This
9
is where-
a.m.?
No, 9,
9 p.m.
Oh.
Yeah, so you can make it to the brunch.
Yeah.
soulrollinvitational.com.
All the
If you
information
catch that
is on the
schedule,
website.
The schedule is on the homepage.
Definitely.
Now, for those that are listening that are not in the Tampa area, and does this take place in other cities or what?
They do take place in other cities. There's usually more information on like Get Your Skate On or Skate Groove. That's where
Okay.
most of the most
These
of the
go
events.
on throughout the year.
Yes.
Tampa as a city, we host the Soul Roll Invitational, but
Yeah.
there are hosts all over the country. People
Okay.
are now like, there are skaters that had never left the United States that now go to other countries for
Wow.
similar events. Barcelona's a huge skate party for folks to
y'all
go
ain't
to
say
now
that.
every September.
Mhm.
So skating has like really taken people out of their neighborhoods to
Mhm.
go to an Atlanta or Chicago or Detroit. Michigan skaters have supported this event from year one.
Oh, wow.
Oh
People
yeah,
from Michigan come to Tampa in droves because it's cold in Detroit right now.
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
cold
And they
everywhere.
can't wait to get here.
Yeah, it's a
And
little
they've
cold
just
here
made
too.
Tampa like a second home. So roller skating has introduced people to travel beyond their borders
Yeah.
and in a lot of different, really great activities. People have started playing golf as a result of spending time in Tampa because I used to do a golf tournament on Saturday morning
Mm,
and people would like rent clubs, golf in the morning and skate at night.
Hmm.
that's awesome.
And I love that you wanted to connect this to MLK Day and also the Tampa Bay Black Heritage Festival.
Yes.
So talk about why and the importance surrounded by incorporating or paying homage to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. as well as the Tampa Bay Black Heritage Festival.
It just made good sense, right?
Mhm.
You've got a couple elements there. One, it's a holiday weekend, so that was a no-brainer to have the event during that time. But I had always attended the Tampa Bay Black Heritage Festival. We became event partners in terms of our marketing many years ago. They were thrilled to support us. We've put skaters on the concert stages, during the festival. So if
Okay.
there was a break between artists, I would have a skating performer come out on stage and that would get the crowd hyped up to be at the rink at midnight,
Oh, come
right?
on.
And then the tourism element, because we'd have hundreds of people from other states, they were coming to see SOS Band or Gap Band or whoever the Heritage Festival had.
Mhm.
So it made it our little Essence Fest in Tampa became like a part of the skating entertainment. We
Yeah.
party by day and then we roll all night. The events and the partnership and the city make Tampa an amazing place to host in January.
Wow. I love it. I mean, I absolutely love it. The Soul Roll Invitational. If y'all have never been to that either, make sure y'all head out to the Soul Roll Invitational, whether it's at the cookout with a baseball cap on or
We
Or-
invite spectators. Come watch.
Come
Don't
and
have
hang
to
out.
skate.
Come and hang out.
or
Literally, come
actually at one of the at the skating rinks.
Yeah.
Salita, we appreciate you joining us all the way from DC.
watch. Thank you. Thank you.
It's so good seeing you again virtually this time.
Can't wait to get home. Can't wait to get home.
Well,
Yeah,
we
leave that
can't
cold
wait to
weather
have
up
you.
there,
Yeah,
Salita.
that
Yeah,
is
there's
Come
It's
on back.
foolish.
We'll leave that cold weather up
It's,
there.
it's
Thank you,
foolish.
Salita.
I want to bring in Carrie and kind of bring this all together because of course we joked and we said, oh, you can roll on into the MLK or into the leadership breakfast, but when you hear and we're having these conversations about people who look like us, all just trying to make an impact somehow, some way, whether that's saving a young boy who's also growing up in Central Park right now, who has nothing else to do, but maybe he now wants to step out and see people who look like him in a skating rink. Or we're talking about people who want to lead in their community and they don't know about Toba. What does it mean to have these types of conversations and be a part of a community that's really just trying to continue to uplift people?
Yeah, I think these conversations are definitely pivotal for individuals in the community at large. Like I mentioned with the Leadership Institute, we've had a lot of folks come through the Leadership Institute that have given, I call them testimonies on how they've been kind of evolved as a person due to the exposure of knowing what is possible, how things currently operate, and just making it more realistic to be a part of the change happening here locally. But I've seen from my own perspective throughout the years, just a lot of community leaders come through Toba, collaborate with Toba, to try to engage the youth, adults, all, from young to old, just trying to get that community unity. I think unity is the biggest thing with us. And that also ties in with Dr. King's dream.
Exactly.
With having that community unity. That's a big thing for us.
We need that. And I mean, it really doesn't matter how you support it or what event you show up to, right? It's about making the effort to actually do that. You, Al, growing up here and being born and raised in Tampa, what does it mean to you to even be a part of a community and a part of a mission that's working to continue to unify and uplift us?
Well, it feels good to, see the legacy continue.
Yeah.
And then just see people still involved and still doing things in the community. It's I think it's just a blessing. Sometimes I feel like I lose words, and I don't be knowing what to say sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just, this is amazing to even be on this platform.
Oh, thank you.
To be from Tampa, to skate here most of my life, and now to be on a platform where I can be up here and talk about skating.
Yeah.
This is just a blessing. I just thank God just for this opportunity.
Of course. We appreciate you being here.
absolutely.
I heard y'all was rolling something over here. What's
they
going
was
on?
rolling
Listen,
something, all right.
Selfless
You
plug.
you got
Selfless
this.
plug. You see it.
Let's see.
Okay,
Oh,
very
yeah.
nice.
Okay.
You see the Tampa Bay on
So
the back.
you was talking about Shaq having boats. That ain't a boat.
Whoa, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
So for our listeners,
Listen, you see
Al
that?
has brought his
Yeah.
roller skates with him.
Yeah.
And they are all pimped out. Hold it up a little bit higher, Al. So
Okay.
tune in
Look at
to
that.
our
Let me-
YouTube channel and take a look at these dope skates.
And
See that?
he's a mechanic, so it actually has
My business on it.
your business.
Yeah.
So that's a selfless plug. I don't know if I could do that.
Go
Oh,
ahead,
absolutely,
do your
man.
thing.
Plug
Yeah, see?
yourself.
This is rooted in progress.
Listen,
Yes, there's
5
folks out
years-
there listening need an oil
5
change.
years. Listen, I've been in business 5 years, so I'm definitely learning and growing. But it was just like, why not? Why
Yeah.
not put it on your skate where this is what I do? But I mean, a $1,500 investment.
Wow.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
Al's
saying?
mobile oil change. So you
Yes.
come to the folks, you
I
come to the
'em.
people.
Oh,
I do
wow.
fleets. I do commercial. I do everything.
These the skates you gonna roll into the MLK breakfast in?
Yeah.
I actually was at the Yet Center when they had the sneaker ball. I was there. and
Oh,
I
that was
performed
you
on it.
dancing.
That was
at that.
me.
Yes.
Oh.
At
See
the
that?
Skill
Uh-huh.
Center sneaker ball event.
Yes, I was there.
And that was a tie that I was going to bring up.
Oh.
See?
Now that if for those that aren't aware of the the Skill Center,
Yeah.
it's an organization here in Tampa that took a old skating ring.
Yeah,
is that
Stardust.
right?
Yep.
Started out as a skating ring, and they added a gym to it and just turned it into an amazing youth development program
definitely.
and so on and so forth. But during the sneaker ball, they paid homage to the early skaters and the building that it was it once was, and
I was
was
there.
out there skating. I got some
Yeah.
photos of you doing that,
Wow.
my guy. So
Wow.
it's just a small world.
It
So.
is a small world.
So that's why I said this is home. So it's a blessing to be able to, give back and show the youth that you can still skate. I
Yeah.
mean, there's people that's making a living off of roller skating. So
You're right.
if you sharpen your craft, it's just like anything else. The more that you do it, the more that you practice, I think the ceiling is where. Like there is no ceiling
There
for
isn't.
what you
Amen.
can do.
Yeah.
So
Amen.
reach for the stars.
Yep.
Go ahead. Well, hey, before we go, what do you want to say?
I just wanted to piggyback off of that youth element. This year, we also have the youth oratorical contest coming back
Okay.
Oh,
to the breakfast. So looking forward to
Okay.
those youth delivering their speeches.
Oh,
Yes.
did they do that last year? There was like a young girl who did a speech.
I think so. Well, I don't think it was under the youth oratorical contest
Okay.
umbrella.
Okay.
But that is
Okay.
officially back up and running. And
How do people get their children involved?
visit the Toba website
Okay.
for more information on how to get
Like,
engaged with that. But
Yeah, relax.
Send them to the website. Send them to the website.
That website, that'll save you, baby.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, WFLA.com. I know nothing more than that.
all the details.
I want to say before we go, Al, let folks know how they can get involved with the Soul Roll if they're thinking about it and contemplating right now.
SoulRollInvitational.com. You can get all the information. Everything is on the website.
Yes.
And
Being
Carrie,
safe.
anybody thinking about joining Toba, the TLI Institute, what do they
And
do?
attending the breakfast next year.
Next year.
Yes.
Next year.
Yes. So go to tobanetwork.org. You can become a member officially of Toba, get the newsletter updates on when the tickets go live, and also learn more about our Leadership Institute, how to apply. Once again, the applications close January 26th.
That's coming up.
Yep.
It is coming up. That's next Sunday. And how to engage with Toba further from there.
We appreciate y'all hanging with
Absolutely,
us,
y'all.
man. And
It's
more
been
importantly, thank y'all for what y'all are doing in this community.
Yes.
Because we need us, but we need more people like you all.
Absolutely.
Involved in our community, always looking to make it better. We appreciate Salida. We can't bring her up visually right now, but we know she's out of Washington, D.C., and for even creating a space that make people so happy and so proud like Al, a space like the Soul Roll Invitational. So we appreciate you and appreciate you for being a part of our community as well. Y'all got a lot to
This is
do
great.
for MLK.
Yeah.
Hello.
We do.
So figure it out.
Yep. So, Deanne, real quick, before we go, I'm going to just pull that plug up. You made a promise a couple episodes ago about working out, New Year's resolution. How about we add getting out there roller skating to that list? How about we do that?
Thank you all so much for joining Rooted in Progress. We're here every Thursday at 11 o'clock in the morning. We are live on the WFLA Facebook page as well as the WFLA app. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Why are you trying to add more stuff to my plate, Terrence?
I was going to join you. I was going to join you.
No, you weren't.
Yeah. Oh, well.
At the Soul Roll?
No, not the Soul Roll. I got a bum knee right now, so I'm gonna be rolling on a flat tire, So you can't get far with that. So anyway, guys, we thank you for staying rooted.
And now you want to
and tuning in.
You see how that's crazy?
And we'll
that's
see
crazy
y'all
to me.
next Thursday.
Bye, y'all.
See y'all.
That's crazy.